about you is that you have ambition to be great. My job is to coach you to get all that greatness out of you.
What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one as the second day of the tampering window is well underway, and the Dolphins, they're making some moves still. I know everyone's panicking and et cetera, right now, but listen. It's only the tampering window. Free agency hasn't even officially opened up. So, I wouldn't be sitting here getting all stressed out just quite yet. The Dolphins look to have about $13 to $15 million in cap space left right now. That is a guesstimate because all of the contracts have not been added to over the cap yet. But it's looking like we're between about 13 to 15 million, but we still haven't made any major cuts. We can still add 21 million to that just like that. And I really think they should, because a couple key starters were cut today that I think the Miami Dolphins should definitely make a run at. First and foremost, center out of Cleveland was cut today, JC Treader, and I would be all over him. Are you kidding me right now? He would be a significant upgrade at the center position. He is perfect. We're talking about a guy who's 6'4", 307, and he is just a solid player, and I would love him at the center position. He's actually the NFLPA president as well. So he's someone I would love at center. Hopefully they make a run at him. And another guy too that got released surprisingly was Johnny Hekker. And some of you might be like, "Oh, who's Johnny Hekker?" Well, Johnny Hekker is the punter for the Rams, and everyone knows I'm on that Matt Araiza wagon, driving that train here on YouTube, the Matt Araiza one. But we're talking about a 4-time first-team All-Pro, a two-time second-team All-Pro, a 4-time Pro Bowler, and he was on the 2010s NFL All-Decade team. I definitely think it's something you need to look into. I really do. But yeah, you can give me JC. You can give me Johnny too. That's as soon as they got released, guys, everyone, everyone I was, I'm going to just tell y'all, Miles Jack is not the same player he was 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe he just needs a fresh, a new scenery. But Miles Jack is not what he at least hasn't played like how he, 2 or 3 years ago. So because that linebacker core has been depleted around him, right? Once Paul's Lucini left, and it's just been depleted around him. But Miles Jack, I like him, but I would just be weary of how much money he's asking for. And I will say this: I don't think Miles Jack is on the table. We'll get into the re-signings today. With the re-signings that they made, guys, I think your only hope for a linebacker help is the draft right now. I would be shocked if they spend money on a decent linebacker. I would be shocked. I think the draft makes more sense, but by Riley and E-Rob coming back, I don't think they're going to make a run at a Jordan Hicks. I don't think they're going to make a run at any of these guys. I think right now we're in the tackle market. And, it seems like what I told you guys yesterday in regards to what's holding up the tackle market with Taron Armstead and Deshaun Watson, it seems that is what the case is. Adam Beasley reported on it today. We'll get into that in a little bit. But that seems to be what the case is right now. Is that everything is being held up currently by Taron Armstead and Deshaun Watson. If you didn't know, Deshaun Watson, he met with the Panthers, and he met with the Saints last night. Today, he's met with the Cleveland Browns. There was a rumor going around he's going to meet with the Niners, but that was immediately shot down. He will not be meeting with the San Francisco 49ers. So, and I know the Atlanta Falcons have requested a meeting with Deshaun Watson, and I think that's a team I threw up either backstage or on air yesterday. I threw that team up as, what if I think it was on air or backstage. I forget which one, but I threw it up yesterday because of Matt Ryan leaving, and I didn't think hey, guess it stuck to the wall, huh? So personally, I was told also, and I posted this yesterday, that New Orleans was making a final push, and now with Watson being in play, and from what I'm hearing, the New Orleans Saints are like a legitimate front runner right now. And they just created some cap space by restructuring Marcus Davenport's contract. So it's really, really, really interesting. But yeah, the Taron Armstead market, all the tackles out there right now are waiting for Taron Armstead to set the market and then figure out where they how much they're going to get based off of the market set. And you got to get it. I see what you're saying, Rome. Neil Driscoll said the same thing to me privately, but I'm like, he's like, oh, we're not plan A. Well, obviously not. He's rooted in New Orleans. If New Orleans can get Deshaun Watson and Sean Payton magically comes out of freaking retirement because they get Deshaun Watson, then boom. What are you going to say? Taron Armstead's obviously going to stay in his home, right? Like, I'm not holding that against the man. I do believe if he's leaving New Orleans, we are one of the top options and destinations. Guys, there's already almost 300 of you in the room. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. We gained about 50 new subscribers yesterday. Let's keep it rolling. But yeah, what I'm going to do is we're going to go over everything, and then I'm going to open it up to you guys again. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. I want to hear what's on your guys' mind, et cetera, et cetera. It looks like I'm going to have to be doing a linebacker big board. That's for sure. And I don't see them adding another big receiver. I really don't. I do not see them adding another big receiver. I think that's going to be in play in the draft, to be honest with you. Feels like they're going to draft a linebacker. They're going to draft a receiver. If Raheem Mostert doesn't get set, you can bet they're probably going to draft a running back on day 2 or day 3. And then we got to see how the rest of the team fills out. So that's just the sense I'm getting early on right now. So EJ asked, trade for Laviska Shenault. That's an interesting one. He is on the market. And he can be used in that gadget role. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think Mike McDaniel and the staff would get way more out of Laviska Shenault than what the jabronis in Jacksonville have been able to get out of him. So we'll see how that all plays out for sure. All right, but let's start getting into this stuff. And then we are going to we're going to go as usual in chronological order about every move, the time it happened in the day. And I got a couple videos too to accompany some of the moves. So especially the Connor Williams move, because I don't think enough people are, Connor Williams was number 13 on my free agent big board, right? He was the third guard. It was Daniels, Tomlinson, and him were my top guards that I would target, and they signed him, and I like the signing. and we're going to talk about that. So, people out here just looking at penalties, ridiculous. All right. Linebacker Duke Riley is signing back with the Dolphins on a 1-year, $3 million contract. Drew Rosenhaus is his agent and has been getting the money out of the Dolphins. Shout out to Hermes. He says, since Najee's looking to be so talented after his rookie year, do you regret us not getting him over Jalen at 18? I just wonder what if. I think Phillips is going to be special. I like the Holland pick, so I don't have any regrets. I can't, if they were going to package the Liam pick and other picks to move back up and get Najee into the first, then cool. But I like the first 3 picks in the draft. But I will say he would be perfect for this for this outside zone we'll be running. But so Duke Riley is back, 1 year, $3 million contract. I believe Barry Jackson, he in one of his articles recently, he kind of forewarned everyone that they were looking to possibly bring Duke Riley back. So they bring Duke Riley back. This is exactly in date edge retro over a running back. They continue bringing back the defense. They're not really switching much up. It's a whatever move, right? Like it's, you bring back an average player, right? He's not a needle mover. So, but hey, you keep the same guys in the room. The continuity. Am I going to hate on continuity? Hell no. I will not hate on continuity. I will applaud continuity, even if it's for 1 year till they get it all figured out. The second re-signing of the day actually really shocked me, to be completely honest. And that's the re-signing of Preston Williams to a 1-year deal. I'm actually shocked that this happened. I mean, they're betting on him getting healthy and being productive in this offense. And if you remember, Preston was a beast a couple years ago when we played the San Francisco 49ers. And with that game where Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins blew them out, he was a beast. So I guess McDaniel saw something he liked. It's only a 1-year deal. You got to imagine if he doesn't show up and show out in camp, or if he gets hurt, good night. They're just going to cut their ties with him. And it's, from what I understand, there's not even any guaranteed money on it. So, it is what it is. They're keeping another receiver in house. This is what I'm thinking right now. After their moves in the first 2 days, it feels like they're drafting a linebacker and they're drafting a receiver somewhere. So this is all going to be about, you got to perform to get paid. So personally, it's again, I'll say the same thing I just said. It's a whatever deal, right? Doesn't move the needle for me. So, and yes, Barney, he was being punished by Flo because of his agent on Twitter. So even when he was healthy, he wasn't being used, right? He was healthy last year. He just wasn't being used. So there you go. Preston's going to get a shot in camp. If he makes it out of camp, you'll know he has impressed the staff and he's going to stick around. So Preston Williams, another X option behind Devontae Parker. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. But Preston Williams, he is back to the Dolphins on a 1-year deal, basically perform to get paid. Speaking of our perform, wait till we get to that. My boy Nick been sending me some videos I'm not allowed to share, and all I gotta say is Tua out here slanging it. Tua is out here. The torque looks like it's coming back, baby. From the stuff I've been showed, I've been sending multiple videos that they haven't posted on social media, and the torque looks like it's coming back. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. All right. So obviously the big move of the day is Connor Williams is signing a 2-year, $14 million deal that includes $7.5 million fully guaranteed with the Dolphins. Again, another Rosenhaus deal. I love it. This is a guy, I love it. I'm just, listen. Dolphins allowed 235 pressures last year. Connor Williams only allowed 15. Fewest for any NFL guard with 600 or 24 pass blocking snaps or more. It was also the 5th fewest if you include every guard who pass blocked at least 300 times. He's a good athlete. Listen, I talked to someone who I'm a big fan of, Marcus Mosier. He's the managing editor for the Raiders Wire, but he's also the host of Locked On Dolphins and Locked On Dynasty. And, he basically, first of all, he liked the Cedric Wilson signing for us. When I was talking to him today, he said he's a really good number 3 receiver. Obviously can play outside of the slot. And he agreed with me. The money we gave Connor Williams is very fair, especially when you look at Laken Tomlinson's money. And, I got to say this too. He's a proven guy. He's gritty as hell. Let me show y'all something. Have y'all seen him go up against... Have you seen the video of him going up against Aaron Donald? Have y'all seen him going up against Aaron Donald? I want you to see the grittiness we're adding to the offensive line. We finally got someone who's going to smack someone else back in the mouth. It's about damn time. Watch this. Look. He don't back down from Aaron Donald. Tell him, what up? Let's go. Look at it. Throws him down. They get into a scrap. That's the best defensive player in maybe the last 10, 20 years who's an absolute monster. And Connor Williams said, I don't care who you are. And there's Cedric Wilson, number 1, up in there. But he said, I don't care who you are. We got some nastiness. And we got a guy who, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We paid good money, a fair contract to a guy who's not even 25 yet. He's not even 25. How do you not like this? Bye-bye, Austin Jackson. I told y'all Austin Jackson wasn't good enough at guard. I told y'all Eichenberg was not the answer at guard. And now they're going to add a tackle. Troy Nuki's actually 24. He's not 25 yet. He was born on May 12th, 1997. He will be 25 in May. So he's actually 24. I don't know how people cannot like this signing or how people can bitch just about the penalties. Like, do I need to remind people? Answer me. Do I need to remind people who his offensive line coach was in Dallas? Do I need to remind people? Because, guys, this is a good signing. This is a fantastic signing. And in case you did not know who his O-line coach is, first of all, consider yourself lucky. Second of all, because you ain't missing much. Second of all, for you who don't remember, I'm going to show you right now who his freaking O-line coach is. For all of y'all that don't remember, because it got a lot of traction. That's who his O-line coach is. What are you expecting out of a guy What are you expecting? When your O-line coach is freaking Joe Philbin, stop. All right? No thanks. All right? Goodbye. All right? Cut the kid some slack for the penalties, man. Jeez. But yeah, I love the signing. I'm a huge fan of the signing. Now if they can add JC Treader at center and they can go out and they can add a tackle, we are rolling, baby. But you know, again, if you look by PFF and take PFF with a grain of salt, they graded him as the 11th best guard in football last year. He was the 11th best run blocking guard. In pass pro, he only allowed 2 sacks, 15 hurries. And the 15 hurries were the fewest permitted by any guard who had played that many snaps. So if you look at Austin Jackson, he allowed 29 pressures on 551 pass blocking snaps at left guard. So we'll see how it plays out. If anyone's going to get those holding penalties out of him, it's going to be our staff. And again, he's not even 25. He'll be 25 by the season start, but he's not even 25 as of this day that they signed him for. I love the deal. I'm a fan of the deal. We got some grittiness. We got some nastiness. We got someone who's going to punch you in the mouth. So, and if you remember, he tore his ACL in 2019, and he's been awesome since then, other than the holding penalties. And he actually got benched for the holding penalties. But again, Joe Philbin benched you. What does that mean? What does that mean? So, honestly, man, you add Trader into that, you add a legit center, or you draft a Linderbaum. God damn, I love our interior. Connor Williams, Trader, Linderbaum, and then and then Robert Hunt. God damn, I love our interior if that's the case. I know there's talks, and we'll show a video. I'm going to show a video of Cameron Wolfe here in a sec. But of him going to tackle, but no, stick him at guard. Every snap he's played at the NFL level has been at guard. Don't start getting cocky and egotistical with this. Play him where he made his money at. All right, that's what you got to do. So, let's get into what Cameron Wolfe actually had to say today. I got 2 things, 2 little pieces, 2 little ones to go. So let's get into that. This is what he had to say today.
Season is about Tua, building around him, and everybody in Miami who loves the Dolphins will tell you that offensive line was top priority. And with Connor Williams, they get a guy they feel is very young, 24 years old, 25 at the start of the season.
Let's go.
He played left guard 57 starts in Dallas. They feel like there's still upside there, and they feel like it's not necessarily plug him at guard. Maybe he can move around. They feel he's a good fit in that zone blocking scheme.
Let's go.
They hope that he can help an offensive line that would PFF graded as one of the worst in football last year. So that was one of their
was the worst
signings
football,
of this period so far. One of the other ones is keeping their own homegrown talent in Emmanuel Ogbah. I was told just literally minutes before he could reach free agency or legal tampering, quote unquote, yesterday, they got a deal done with him. He wanted to be there. I spoke with him yesterday, and he said, hey, I thought we were going to possibly hit the market. Buffalo, Baltimore, Indy all had interest, but I wanted to be here. I'm so glad to be here. And so the Dolphins get a top pass rusher to keep that defense together. That was a key move for them. And the latest move today, linebacker Elandon Roberts, a guy who's not a big name, but a captain on that defense, a big run stopper, and a guy who's going to be a leader for them. They bring him back in the inside linebacker position. They may still add there, but the defense is starting to come together, and they're still going to do a little bit more work on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay.
So there you go. He says they're going to do a little bit more work on the offensive side of the ball, which I know we all fully expect. And the Elandon Roberts the Elandon Roberts signing, it was actually our final re-signing of the day so far. We signed him to a 1-year, $3.25 million contract to bring him back. It's a cheap, again, Duke Riley and Elandon are back on 1-year deals. This tells me they are looking in the draft potentially to bring someone in. I feel linebacker is still on the board. So at 1 year, $3.25 million, that's not that bad at all. I can't hate on them for keeping the defense intact, for keeping continuity. You cannot hate. Sure, we'd like a linebacker upgrade, but right now they're keeping continuity on the defensive side of the ball. Why? So they're not adding to their needs when they enter the draft. On the defensive side of the ball, they're trying to keep us with as much flexibility going into the draft as possible. You have to respect it. You have to give props to it. You have to like it. I'm sorry, you just do. And then offensively, you can see that's what they're trying to do right now. Guys, Myles Jack is not going to come here, okay? These signings that they've made right now, we only have about $13 to $15 million in cap space. We can add about $21 million to that, but right now they are in the tackle market, okay? What they are waiting on right now, our linebacker group, unless we draft, don't expect a big splash. I'm going to tell you that right now. I will be shocked. And if it's a big splash player, it'll be on a friendly deal to us. So, and guys, Myles Jack is not the same player he was 2 or 3 years ago. People need to, I'm sensing a lot of people haven't watched Myles Jack a lot recently. He wasn't what he was a couple years ago, man. So, Elo, if they can create about $21 million in cap space. So if you add that to the 13 million, let's say, that takes us to 34. About 10 million of that is going to go towards your draft class. So you're back down to about 24 million. So you got to remember, we got to keep money for the draft class. Exactly, Jamie. Jamie says most people hate some of the signings because they only focus on the stats instead of the gameplay or film. 110%. 110%. We are not a team that only needs a few more pieces. Okay? By no stretch of the imagination. So, people need to relax. Right now, again, you're looking at the stats, Scotty. The most tackles of his career, he was not the same player that he was when Poslucini was there. Again, miss me with the tackle stats because Jerome Baker had a plethora of tackles over the last 2 years. And are we going to sit here and call Jerome Baker? I stand where I am. Jerome Baker's a top 30 linebacker in the NFL. He's not top 15. He's not top 10. So, again, that's it. Exactly, Corey. Corey says Baker gets a lot of tackles too. Doesn't make him great. Exactly. So, stop. Again, you got to watch the player. Do not watch the stat line, especially at a linebacker position, right? So, listen, Myles Jack 2 or 3 years ago, I loved him. But he's not the same player anymore. So, it is what it is. All right. Taron Armstead, like I told you guys yesterday, that's clearly the domino they're waiting. By the way, if you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Finside. Become a Patreon, patreon.com/Finside the NFL. Patchvibes.com, use code Finside, save 20% off your order. And then backroomcollection.net, use code Reason, save 10% off your order. Listen, let's get into this. I wanted to show you this because Adam Beasley basically reported what I was telling you guys yesterday. Once again, PFN behind the reason curve. So let's bring that up for y'all. All right, here we go. So this is what Adam Beasley posted to PFN. Why hasn't Terran Armstead found a team in free agency? Let's begin the exercise by pointing out it's still very early in free agency. Doesn't truly begin until 4 p.m. on Wednesday. The legal tampering period at the time of the story's publication isn't even 24 hours old. But it was a bit peculiar that dawn broke Tuesday with 5 of the top 6 untagged players on PFN's top 100 free agent list didn't have a deal. Armstead was among that group. Despite making the Pro Bowl each year from 2018 through 2020 and leading an otherwise pedestrian left tackle group, plus there's a lot of moving parts here, the biggest of which, Deshaun Watson's professional fate. Armstead is weighing options, including his desire to stay with the Saints and the possibility of teaming up with Watson as a potential Super Bowl contender. But that's not the only factor. There are 2 others. Armstead is a very talented player who cannot be relied upon to play a full season. He has never done it in his career and missed 9 games in 2021 due to elbow and knee injuries. He's had pec and shoulder issues in the past. If a team is going to pay north of $15 million annually for a left tackle, which is probably the floor for a player of his caliber, they need to believe he will be available most every game. Plus, any offer must have protections for the club that allow them to get out from underneath the contract after 2 years. Armstead will be 31 years old before the start of the 2022 season. It's fair to wonder how many years he has left considering his medical history. And then the other one, the NFL draft is loaded with talent. The NFL draft is stocked by talent. Ian Cummings said this, and not just the big 3 up top. Obviously, you have Neil Ikemekwanu and Charles Cross of the blue chip, along with Trevor Penning. But, even at the Saints' first-round pick on day 2, there's plenty of Tyler Smith, Sean Ryan, Bernard Raymond, Abraham Lucas, Daniel Falele, Matt Welzelko, Braxton Jones, Nicholas Petit-Ferrer, Dare Rosenthal, and Chris Paul are just a few. So, like I've been telling you, it's a loaded tackle class, right? So, the draft, his injury concerns, and, essentially the reason why, because there's still, even with the injury concerns in the draft, those are not the biggest factors. It right now is Deshaun Watson. That's what the issue is right now. That's what it is. If he had made it, like if he makes it, there's going to be someone that's going to pay him 20 plus some odd $1 million. I just don't. It's right now all on him. He's the reason why it hasn't happened. There's literally no one else to blame. Yeah, well, yes. Armstead's asking for like 20 plus million a year. Yeah. You could thank Larry Tunsil for that. So, I mean, it's not even just because of the draft and such. The mainstay is Deshaun Watson. I said it yesterday. The irony that we need the Watson domino to fall is hilarious. And a lot of people think Watson will have his decision made by the time the league opens tomorrow. So, but so far when you look at it right now, we've re-signed Ogba. Gesicki signed his tender. Duke Riley is back. Elandon Roberts is back. Bridgewater's the backup, quarterback now. We've signed Edmonds as well, Chase Edmonds and Connor Williams. It's not that bad of a free agency by any stretch of the imagination that some people are making it to be like. And why am I so certain we're going to still go after a tackle? I'm going to tell you why I'm so certain we're still going to go after a tackle. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to tell you why. The homie Cameron Wolf is going to be the one that tells you why.
Fans were desperately waiting for that offensive line. We're offensive linemen. Well, Connor Williams was the first step, and I'm told they're not done yet.
There you
They're
go.
going to be
Not done
looking in
yet.
that tackle market to see if they can get a player there. Teron Armstead's the top player on that market. He's actually slowing down the market from what I understand as he makes his decision. A lot of that's connected
there you
with
go.
him having some desire to go back to New Orleans. They're figuring out what's going on with the Deshaun Watson situation, so there has to be some decisions there. But if they don't land Armstead, look for them maybe to look at the right tackle position. La'el Collins is a name to watch. There's been trade talks with him for Dallas for the last couple of days.
He's going to get released.
Told it's more likely at this point that he's ultimately released. And if he does hit the market, Miami is definitely going to be interested in him as well. So solidifying that offensive line is a top priority. Another priority, inside linebacker. They have a guy in Jerome Baker they really like, but they need to fill that other spot. There's a few veterans who have just been released recently. Bobby Wagner, Miles Jacks, a few different names.
This was before we
Expect
signed
the
Elandon
Dolphins
Roberts
to shop around and find an inside linebacker at their price as well as we go into the next 2 days of free agency.
That was, I believe this was posted before we brought back Elandon Roberts, FYI. So it was actually. So, hey, I ain't hating. You know, you look at it right now. Ogba's back. Gesicki's tendered. Duke Riley's back. Roberts is back. Preston Williams is back. Bridgewater's the backup quarterback. We got the best backup quarterback in the NFL. Chase Edmonds is added to our running back room. Connor Williams is added to our offensive line. And we're clearly looking to still add another tackle. So I'm not going to sit here and hate yet. You know? And EJ 9803 has a really good idea. Yeah, I would trade for Laviska Shenault. I know the Jaguars have made him, available. That could be your perfect gadget guy. McDaniels could do some things with him for sure in this offense. I would not hate on acquiring a Laviska Shenault. Guy grew up a Dolphins fan. Let's go. Talented player. He just hasn't been used right. They tried to use him as a true receiver last year in Jacksonville, and he's just not ready to be that yet. So, and I would trade Noah Benogany 110% if I could. Then they'll probably re-sign with $500 million. Jesus. But Laviska is someone definitely I'd be interested in. But La'el Collins, let's go. Let's go. La'el Collins. I need La'el Collins, or I need Trent Brown. I need one of these tackles to come in. And then, guys, if you were living under a rock today, it was awesome. It was awesome. Shout out to the homie Nick Hicks at Perform, friend of the show, real life good friend of mine, and the trainer of Tua Tagovailoa. Guys, I want to set the scene for you with this tweet. Let's set the scene here. All right. 7:30 a.m. There's a crosswind and a light drizzle. 71-yard throws, 71-yard throw. We working. So this is Lynn Bowden right here. He's sitting about 66 yards away from Tua. And I know that because he actually commented to someone who was hating on the throw. And this ends up traveling about 71 yards in the air.
As it driving. Once I move my hand, I get exposed right to the light.
Let it rip, baby. $71 yards. 71 yards. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, I thought he didn't have. I thought he could. How can he throw this far, guys? I thought he had a noodle arm. How's Tua out here throwing 71 yards? Someone explain this to me. Someone explain this to me. How this man can throw 71 yards.
I should have.
Let's go. Let's go. And you don't. How many times in a game do you throw 71 yards? And you got and he's against the wind, and it's sleek out there. Tell you, it's all about mechanics. It's all it's about right now with this guy. That's it. And I got sent videos that I can not share with you guys. I was told directly not to share them with you guys, with anyone. But I've got videos of Tua throwing the ball 40 yards downfield on a freaking rope. No air under it, on a freaking rope. And I told Nick, hey, I won't show it. I'll tell you, no, I won't show it. He said that he'll let me know if I can post them. But I've got videos of him throwing a 40-yard ball on a literal rope. Like it's 40 yards and it's right to Bowden's head. Just whew, right down. And then I've got another video, Bowden's 40 yards down deep, and he starts working up by 10-yard increments on each throw. Everything is a rope right into his chest, man. So it's I'm telling you, man. Right? Last year was all about getting the strength up. Now we're going into strength, into skill training this offseason. So it's a way different offseason regimen than what we were doing last year. So that's the thing too, right? So it's a totally different training regimen that he's going through this year. So, and he's ripping them right now. You can see the torque is back. I can see more of the torque that I saw in Alabama in the throws that I've been seeing. I didn't see these torque even from the training videos last year that I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing velocity right now. Even on that 71-yard throw he just made, there was better velocity than what he had the year before. So, hey, the guy's working. He's putting in work, and he's trying to get better. Who's going to say something negative about that? You better be the hardest worker in the room if you're going to be out here crapping on someone who's working that hard to get better. So, just like all the people out here who hold Tua to a high standard, but they don't hold their own life to a high standard, and they're out here dating, wifing, engaging 5s and 6s out of 10s, but they're holding all these players that are 23, 24-year-old to these 10 out of 10 standards, but they don't live their own life by it. Stop. All right? Enough of that, man. Man, if you're talking about this kid's work ethic and you're talking shit about the work he's putting in, bro, we all should already know you're the hardest worker in the room. So, that's all I'm saying. I better see people out here. I don't want to see nothing but dimes, bro. Nothing but dimes. So, and anyone thinking Teddy Bridgewater is a backup. Anyone thinking Teddy Bridgewater is going to win the starting job, I can't help you. Clearly, you've never watched Teddy Bridgewater since he returned from his injury. He's not going to start. The only way he starts this year is if Tua's hurt. So, I don't know what else to tell you. Guys, I'm going to drop the link. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on everything, on all the moves, on everything going on. Because personally, I'm happy with free agency so far. It's going the way I expected it to. It's going the way I expected it to. Everyone was out here, they're going to sign Amari Cooper. They're going to sign a $20 million plus tackle. And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think so. By any stretch of the imagination. So, and now, I can already see someone. Bridgewater only has one losing season. Well, can you give me and the quarterback that I had last year, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, and a much better offensive line? Actually, you know what? Just give me the offensive line, Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. Just give me that. I don't need. Who am I to need Cortland Sutton and all those other guys? Because Gesicki disappeared after the Baltimore Ravens game. Just give me their offensive line and their running game. Then let's talk. I could win games behind that offensive line with that running game. Teddy is he's the best backup in the NFL. He can win games when and if your starting quarterback has to miss some, whether it's COVID, whether it's an injury, he can win games. But to sit here and say he's better than Tua Tagovailoa, no, he's not better than Tua Tagovailoa. I'm sorry. If he was better than Tua Tagovailoa, why did the Broncos let him walk? It's a solid move for one of the best backups in the NFL right now. So, I don't know what to say. Just like when he won games with New Orleans, you know how good that New Orleans team was? Give us that offensive line. Give us that running game that he had when he had to step in for Drew Brees. Hell, give us the receiving core they had at that time. You guys are literally giving props to a guy in Bridgewater who's been in better circumstances than what Tua's been in the last 2 years. You go figure it out. Yeah, he won games at Minnesota, and then he got injured. And he was not the same. I could tell. Nicholas Powell obviously just looks at stat lines. Did you watch him in Minnesota before he got injured? He's not the same player he was before the injury. So, again, we really want to go down there? You guys are hilarious to me, man. Teddy Bridgewater, pre-injury, trajectory upwards. Post-injury, look what he did for the Broncos. Again, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, a great offensive line. They have a top 10 offensive line in the NFL. What conversation are we having here right now? And then on top of that, Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant producing, Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy. We really going here? Stop. Like, man, I don't have to call people dumb because they sound dumb when they talk. So, I don't know what else to say, man. And thank God Jacoby Brissett is no longer on this team. That's all I got to say. I will always, always thank him for getting rid of Jacoby Brissett. So, like, It is what it is, man. Dropping the link for you guys to come up here. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on everything. I don't think I dropped it earlier, so I'm dropping it now. Look for it in the comment section. Open it up for a little bit here. Yeah, I just like people act like situation doesn't matter. It's like these people are so Madden oriented. Like you can just plop someone on any team and it works. You get the same results. Oh, that guy's a 93 on the Chargers. He'd be a 93 on our Dolphins team last year. Like what? What are you talking about? Oh my God. Pyro, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, man? Yeah, it's just
Bro.
It's just crazy, man. That
the lengths people will go to convince themselves, I swear.
Bro, these people still talking about we're getting Deshaun Watson.
Well, bro, I guess if you keep lying to yourself long enough, even you'll believe it, right?
Right? I mean, it's like, hey, we getting all these players and stuff. Yeah, but we're still getting Watson, even though we have like what 13 million right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I will say though, props to Teddy in the fact that because I agree with what Gary just said. If we would have had Teddy last year, we at least probably would have made the playoffs.
Yeah, we won at least two of those.
Yeah, he wouldn't have lost that Raiders game.
Yeah.
You know,
and I think we would have beat the Colts too because we had them during the first half, but they just slowly starting to figure this out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And you see this, you see all these jabronis, on, like, did you see Lynn Bowden dragging that guy through the mud?
Oh yes, bro. Yeah, I retweeted it, bro. He was like, "Bro, I was literally at the 66 yard."
That was funny.
And he's trying to call Bowden a liar. Like that's the length these people will go to
exactly
convince themselves. They're now calling players liars.
Bro, he was arguing. He was literally arguing to Lynn Bowden talking something. Bro, yards are measured in da 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 da. I was like, really, bro? Are you really arguing with a player who's there?
It was hilarious.
Like, who does that, man?
They are that desperate. They just don't want to believe it, man. Is their mind, bro?
I wouldn't be surprised if someone said, "Is that really Tua throwing?"
Yeah. They
CGI.
Yeah, CGI.
What's going on, Anthony?
It's a deep fake.
Hey, what's up, man? It's just, bro, it's so confusing. I'm like, I don't know. Do you guys have something to do with your lives? Like, you're arguing with a professional NFL certified trainer on whether or not Tua is actually throwing 70-yard passes. I'm like, what are we doing here?
No, and then it's like, oh well, there's no pads on. What do you think? Pads take off 20 yards on the throw?
Exactly.
Like
stupid, bro.
I just don't get it.
Also, hats off to Tua and Nick Hicks for like focusing on, like, it's good to see them understanding, like, hey, he needs to get better in these areas, and all the videos they've done have been or showing that they're working on it.
And they got a quarterbacks coach too.
Did you see his tweet where he said, "For the experts out there"?
Yeah.
I was like, this guy is just killing them right now, man. But like, he explains the cones are 5 yards apart with numbered cone at every 10-yard increment. So,
Charger released Brian Bulaga.
Yeah, but he's kind of washed.
Mm-hmm.
He's been injured 11 games?
Oh, he's 33.
Like
yeah, nothing.
Yeah, he's kind of washed.
He's long in the tooth too. He's long in the tooth too.
What's going on, RD?
Oh, he's back.
Oh, he left.
Yeah, he's kind of washed a little bit, bro. Like he was kind of a little starting to get that way when he left Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So
and he's 33. So no, thank you.
Yeah, stopgap. Darrell Williams is only like what 31, I think. What's Darrell Williams, the right tackle that got released by Buffalo?
Oh yeah, he's 31, I believe. 31.
Like I'd be okay with like a stopgap for a year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't Eric Fisher be a stopgap?
Yeah, I'm down for Eric Fisher for like a 2-year deal and have a out after 1 year.
Yeah, out after 1 year.
Hey, Reason, how you doing, brother?
Not too bad, man.
Oh man, I'm excited about this moves because they're setting up for the big tackle moves, and we're almost at that finish line with getting that the boundaries taken care of for for this year, man. I know they're gonna do something. Like it's either Collins or I don't want Armstead though. That's the thing, because I don't think he's ever gonna be healthy when it matters the most. And all that money could easily be going towards getting the Fishers and the Collins, like you've been saying. I'd rather just have the like we've seen it with Devontae Parker and many other players. Remember Pouncey, bro? Like it never you're no good if you're not healthy. It doesn't matter. The potential is useless if you're not on the field, right?
Yeah, that's what with the tease with Brandon Albert was, right? Remember how good Brandon Albert was, and every time he was out there, our offensive line with Tunsil next to him was like, and Pouncey in the middle, we were moving bodies, but you never got him for a full season, right?
Yeah, no, it's right now if we get Collins, because I was watching. Okay, so here's one game to watch. Watch the San Francisco versus Dallas Cowboys, the playoffs last year, and just look at that entire O-line and Cedric Wilson as well. They were down, big, right? But they all clawed back into the game. They held their own. I mean, that defense from San Francisco is as good as it gets. Like that defense got them to the Super Bowl and almost got them to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
And they held their own. I know it was home field advantage, but they still held their own throughout the whole game. And I'm thinking over there, like, these guys make our current O-line feel like junior varsity, and that's putting it, understatement. Like it's really night and day what we're gonna do with this O-line if we get the right people, because you can only coach people up so much, right? And I think right now we need not one tackle, we literally need two tackles, because Eichenberg and Austin Jackson, I mean, I think they're just a lost cause. I think you're asking too much if you want to compete perennial, year over year, be a playoff driven team. And right now, if we get Collins, think about it. If we get Collins, we've gotten two out of the top, two players from the top O-line last year, because they PFF graded the O-line from Dallas as number one.
Yeah.
So how amazing is that? And you're getting them at affordable. I don't understand with Collins. Why don't they make the trade, but they're waiting for him to be released? They think they can get him at a bigger discount? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think you're going to pay.
Yeah,
right. So but then why don't you just trade for him and pay less?
How high could the asking price be? Because he's playing, I mean, especially for the Dolphins, he's playing. I know, but like if you trade, I think, what is it, like 10 million? But I mean, like trading price, what could it be? I mean, especially for the Dolphins, like he's the blindside protector of your future, your young quarterback. So like,
bro, I've heard they'd be okay with like a 6th or a 7th, and no one's.
What?
I don't understand what's happening, because we wanted this guy ever since. I mean, it's as if we've been chasing this guy. We just never seem to get him.
Dude, there was someone in my comments yesterday. I don't know how verifiable this was, but someone in my comments yesterday was saying that they heard, from what they were understanding, apparently he was a cancer in the locker room.
Jeez.
And maybe that's why maybe people looked into him and they saw that and they're just like, oh, maybe we can get him at our own cost. Like if he hits the market and he gets less than 10 million, we'll know there's some big red flag. Or if he gets like relatively the same money, like I don't know, man. I would have given up, a 4th, no problem for this guy.
It just came out the Patriots are interested in him, apparently, and I swear to God, if
that means
Patriots,
Trent Brown is leaving, right?
They just traded Shaq Mason to the Bucks for a 5th.
Man, I would I don't know, man. If you could somehow come out of this with like adding Lyle Collins and JC Trader and Treader and like a cheap left tackle, like a stopgap, like Eric Fisher for 1 year, like that'd be awesome.
But you can also, instead of signing a free agent center, maybe you can also draft Lindenbaum, right? Because he will drop to the 20s. I'm told because of his short arms and just a need thing, right? Like centers don't really go that high, and I don't know if they're going to just put him at guard, whoever drafts him. But Creed went end of second round last year, so I don't know. We can always move up a little in the 20s.
Year before that, Cesar Ruiz went 24, right?
Right. So I'm saying in the 20s, we can easily make a move up. Like, these guys have to understand the O-line is the bread and butter. Like,
And Linderbaum's perfect for us.
Right. Like, and by getting Collins, by getting this guy an affordable with a Williams character, having him for 2 years, Robert Hunt, getting Linderbaum, all of a sudden now you have a multi-year. You don't have to worry about it. You have an O-line and you have depth. Now you can just focus on the rest of the team, which is almost complete anyway, right? With the pieces and the coaching staff and everything. But you cannot, I don't know, they got to go all in on that offensive line,
Jim
right?
says, would you rather spend 26 on Armstead or go after Devontae Adams?
Well, Devontae just declined a contract from the Packers.
Yeah, but
I'll
he's
find
saying,
the number.
But he's saying 26 million. I know he wants 30 million a year. That's what I've heard.
Jeez.
I think priority has to be O-line before anything else now, because
but I cringe when I love when Armstead's healthy, dude. He's a top 3 tackle in the NFL. Like,
especially for our system now, the new system.
He's ridiculous. But the problem is paying $22.5 million to a guy you might only get for 12 to 13 games.
The problem
scary.
is if he's not there in the off season, in the postseason,
then
what good is it? Like, I don't want. Like, it's if you're gonna pay that type of money.
It's like that Brandon. It's like Brandon Albert in terms of availability. You gotta that price point needs to be lower, man.
Especially if they sign Armstead too, what does that say about how McDaniel must feel good about whoever they have to possibly be a backup to him if he gets injured? Because if McDaniel feels confident in either bringing in a guy or someone already on the roster to coach them up to be a backup, he might be looking at it, not that I agree, but he might look at it and say, we have someone, whether it's Austin Jackson or we can go draft someone in the second or third, to where if we do lose Armstead for 4 or 5 games, I'm confident that we can coach this guy up to be good enough to.
So you have somebody waiting. Somebody waiting in the wings. As you
I don't know who, but
I know what you mean.
I think with the money, just the money that's going into this, just the resources that's going into all of this, and our need, I'd rather have Collins at right tackle for a lot less money, and using the rest of the money to bulk up whatever we need bulking up, rather than risking it all with Armstead. Like, if Armstead was a healthy clan, pay the man top dollar, like, just make it happen. But this is this is as risky as it gets. Mm-hmm. This is like 1 step forward, 2 step back, potentially type of thing. And you cannot go back to an Austin Jackson and Eichenberg knowing that the right tackle still needs to be filled at a top notch. That's his blind side, right? Like, I don't know what's happening. I feel something is amiss if the opportunity for Collins is there that no one even thought about during the end of the season.
Yeah,
I'm full stead with. That's what I was just gonna say. I'm full stead with. I'd rather get Collins and JC
for the price that Armstead's gonna cost you.
You're right.
You feel me? And then for why? He's basically a right tackle with Tua playing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
you secure that interior with Tua.
Yeah.
And then you get him the blind side. I mean, what else is there?
They did it with the Saints.
And then the left tackle class is pretty good.
That's the thing.
There'll be someone at 29 you could take.
But they did.
If you want to take a guy at 29, like,
think about it. One of these guys is going to be dropped in the late teens, early 20s. You can always move up to get one of these tackles as well, and they're natural left tackle, right? You don't have to overthink this. Just make priority the O-line and get the guys who are healthy and they're talented. Now, if there's going to be off the field issues with Collins, but I haven't heard any of that stuff ever linger in anywhere. Like, the only off the field we ever heard from Collins was when he was drafted, and that was turned out to be nothing.
Maybe they don't want to get. And I know people are saying Darrell Williams or Morgan Moses. I'd be down if they're last minute options as a stopgap. But we're talking about Lyle could be here for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Morgan Moses ain't gonna be here for years. Darrell Williams ain't gonna be here for years.
No more band-aids, man. We need the actual foundation. I mean, I don't know. I just
you get somebody who's the Browns just cut JC. the center, and I was like, okay, well, you have another center that's available, good
And a
center, by the
stud.
way, a stud, right?
Yeah, and he's probably
you
the
can
best
get-
option, to be honest.
Yeah,
with
Bro,
you.
like a
is.
role
the
model
best,
too.
the best
And he played
option,
every
It would have
game
been
but one.
Jensen and then him and then
Yeah,
Brian Allen,
exactly.
probably. Yeah.
Exactly. And now I'm saying, okay, you have another chance to get this. Is I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it's looking like our last year when those.
See, I agree with EJ. Yeah.
Because going
Yeah.
back to the
I
draft
agree.
when Collins got drafted, they flew a private jet with Jarvis Landry, Mike Pouncey, and a bunch of guys
former
went to
LSU players all went there. Yeah.
right to try to convince him to come to Miami.
And
They
it
couldn't
came
even
down
spend
to
his-
us. Came down to us or Dallas, basically.
They couldn't even spend a 7th round pick on him. It's like it's not worth the risk. And then a week later,
no. The reason why they didn't was because his agent told all the teams, if
Right.
you draft him outside the first, he's sitting out this year and he'll re-enter the draft next year.
right.
Yeah, because he wanted to be UDFA so he could choose his money. That's basically why he wanted to be a UDFA.
Yeah.
Choose his destination and money. But bro, I was so heartbroken. People forget
know.
about that, bro. I wanted him so bad.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
That was a top 20
That
talent
would
in that draft.
that would have
bro.
been Lermy Tunsil
Yeah.
2.0, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
bro. I was so bitter when he did not choose us. Like, so mad. And Dallas, remember, Dallas still had one of the best lines in the NFL at the time, and they just
That's
kept
the
getting
thing, yeah.
richer, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
was
was
the
like,
year.
why would you go to a stat offensive line? You won't even get a chance. I was like, man,
And he
that really
started
did
right out
piss
the
me
gate,
off.
bro. He started right out of the gate.
Yeah, he was like their final
Yeah, it
piece.
was-
He was
it-
like
it
their
was
final
just-
piece when he did
it
it.
Yeah,
was-
man. Yeah.
but
I
it
was
was
so
stacked.
bitter.
It was
I was
stacked though,
so bitter,
man.
man.
I was
And
so fucking.
He
pissed off.
could come like, bro, man. If we walk in with Lyle Collins, Robert Hunt, Linderbaum or Treader at center, Collins at left guard, and then they either you could start Austin Jackson at left. I don't give a shit.
At least
this-
two can see him.
In this system, Austin Jackson kind of fits,
Yeah.
right? Because of his quick feet. I mean, the footwork isn't good, but he's got quick feet.
Mhm.
He actually, his best thing that we've seen on tape at the NFL level is in the screen game
Mhm.
and in open space. So
Mhm.
there you go.
He waves in open space that we've seen him wave way more
Not
than he
on
hits.
screens though.
Nah, he literally blows.
Pretty
up
good
some
on
people.
screens.
He blows up some people. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie.
like that's the only thing he can do. Other than that, he just stands around and
Yeah.
watches people go by him.
Yep.
But
Bro, and he,
our coaching, we got better coaching around him though too. Like I think
Mhm.
Austin, like Eichenberg, I think is a wash. I think Solomon McKinley long term's a wash in this system. I do think Austin Jackson is salvageable as a swing, not as a starter. Austin Jackson has a swing right now until he develops that anchor,
Mhm.
because he doesn't have the anchor yet. That's the other thing, right? Until he gets
Mhm.
the anchor.
But his hand placement is terrible so
Terrible.
many times.
Coaching though, that's coaching.
and even though Williams plays
Pepe
left
Le Pew.
guard, but if you get Collins, like there is something to be said about two guys on your line that have played together also
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
know each other. Like I know it's left guard and right tackle, but
That's a
still you
good
get
point.
that communication.
That's a great point.
Like that
actually.
that
That's
to
a
me
great
is why
point.
it's like
That's a
it's a
fantastic point.
it's a no-brainer to where it's like
I'll
why
take it
not
even one
get two
deeper.
guys on here?
Add JC Treader in the middle, and now Austin Jackson on the left side is leaning on Connor Williams and Treader next to him.
Oh,
Mm.
it's
See what he
if
develops
Tua can
into.
make it work last year. Point is, like, if they can fix a lot of it, even if the left tackle, like you said, reason is just Austin Jackson, like, if you can secure that middle and then fix his blind side, he'll make it work even with
Oh.
Austin
Oh,
Jackson.
you know how
'cause at
good
least you can
Robert
see
Hunt-
it.
You know how good Robert Hunt would be next year if Treader was to the left of him and Lyle Collins was to the right of him?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Would be insane.
But don't get me wrong, I still want to upgrade Jackson at left tackle. I'm just saying, if they upgraded if it was,
You're
Lyle
gonna have a
Collins,
weak link on
Treader,
the line.
yeah, exactly, and then
Might as
Treader,
well be left tackle.
and then at left guard Connor Williams, and then we had to roll with Austin Jackson because the draft didn't fall in our laps, and the market was too expensive, and they couldn't get a stopgap. All right, I'll do it for one season, okay, because the rest of the line is disgusting. I'm fine with
and at
that.
least Tua
You know
can
what I
see
mean?
the left.
Exactly.
Left tackle.
On
Right,
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 traffic,
he
I'm
can
not
see
worried
it.
about. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's
Through his
used to playing
pocket
with
presence, he's
Austin.
able to
Yeah.
move in the so that position. I'm not really worried about it, especially
Exactly.
if the interior. That's why I'm like, bro, get JC Treader, bro, because if
Yeah.
Tua, if that's the one he can step up easy. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about him being able to duck the one guy that Austin Jackson misses.
Exactly.
It's the fact that he would duck that guy, and then
and then another one's right
Jesse
in his face.
Davis's guy comes and blasts him.
Yep.
You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? Or it was just getting.
And what people
too
don't
much.
realize, Destin, is so you know how John brought up the weak link, right? When you play that position, one thing is like, and I've had this conversation in depth with Richmond Webb about it, right? Like, if you know where the leak is coming from 99% of the time,
exactly.
You're fine with that. You can play with that.
100%.
The problem we were running into is you didn't know where the leak was coming from. It could come from the left. It could come from the right.
100%.
It could come up the middle. It could come up one of the A gaps on either
You didn't
side.
know he was going to hold their ball.
Exactly. That's the issue.
Because it kept on changing.
If you know one guy's a liability, that's different. But the fact is, he knew one guy last year was the only non-liability, and that was Hunt. So if I know one guy's a liability, I can play and I can feel for that. If I know all these guys are an issue, buddy, I'm gonna get pocket happy. I'm gonna get pass happy. I'm just gonna try and get the ball out, or I'm gonna get foot happy and try to take off prematurely because I don't trust them. Like it plays with people don't realize it. It's like, I'd have this conversation with EM all the time too, right? You'd be like, well, we got to judge Tua off the clean pockets he has, right? I said, but here's the issue with that. I said, if I'm playing quarterback and I'm going through pressure, clean pocket, pressure, sack, clean pocket, pressure, clean pocket, I can't get into a rhythm.
Exactly.
And if I can't, but I keep trying to tell people, and I can tell so many people have not watched Tua's Alabama film. Tua is the definition of a rhythmic passer. Why do you think they start? You can go to Alabama. Why do you think they start off a lot of those games with RPOs and quick throws? They get them going. You're like, it's like firing up an engine, bro. You're firing up an engine. That's what they're doing. You got to get them going.
That's why his mechanics started to regress. That's because when you get the clean pocket, but you're still like, well, let me get it off because he already has a quick trigger, but now he's even condensing the quick trigger because and his feet work get sloppy, and that's why you start seeing sail,
which he never had at Tua, right?
Bad habits.
Because at Alabama, his mechanics were crisp as hell.
Well, look at how many times over the last 2 years I've seen something I've never seen at Alabama. Him consistently throwing with his upper body instead of his lower half. And I keep telling people, throwing a football is a kinetic chain. It starts from your toes all the way up to your fingertip. And when your kinetic chain is not fluid and that chain is broken somewhere along the line, you're not going to get the full potential out of every throw. That's how it works.
You know how Madden,
unless you have like a crazy Herbert Josh Allen arm.
Yeah, you know how Madden has X factors and everything.
Yeah.
Tua's X factor when he was coming out was I would say it'll be like quick feet. That's where his accuracy and all that came from. Tua's feet. Tua plant his feet. His feet will always be in the direction where he wants to throw the ball. That's what his feet. So when you have an O line where I'm always having to reset and plant my feet somewhere to make the throw, then your feet go everywhere. You're crisscross, you're pigeon-toed everywhere, boat-legged, and now your throws are errant. You're sailing balls because your pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I don't know if you walked my film breakdowns this year with Ballgame and Martin. Yeah, you know how many times I pointed out even his front toe not pointed towards where the ball's supposed to go.
Exactly.
Like that's like fundamental throwing feet mechanics 101, bro.
Yeah,
like that's one of the first things they teach you.
And the only time Tua didn't do that in college was when he was trying to mislead someone. Like he would try because safety started when he would look off a safety or something. That's when he would do something like that but that's already premeditated, so it's different than playing in reactionary. I'm just moving because it's different.
Going through your progressive reads.
Exactly, and
right?
he would it's only certain throws you do that with.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He was doing it where it's like, bro, he needs some certain throws. He needs to plant his feet and drive it, and he just can't because he doesn't. But Tua's a full body thrower. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. I agree 110%. Bro, you are going off right now. I love it.
Exactly. So you can't do that when Austin Jackson's on your feet, laying at your feet, man. Literally.
Exactly. And some of it, so everyone's like, oh, well, he doesn't have a strong arm. His arm is actually stronger than you think. It's just that he needs his whole body. He puts his whole like Drew Brees is the same way. Drew Brees is the same way. He needs his whole body as opposed to a like Jay Cutler, for example, or Rodgers. Dude, Rodgers is like just flicks it. Like,
yeah, flick of the wrist. Kyler Murray, flick of the wrist.
Exactly. But Tua's not that guy. It's cool. But his mechanics were so crisp that it didn't really matter. But when that old line and I said before, I was impressed. I like more that I want him to stay in that pocket and be a mobile pocket guy rather than, trying to hop out and, what I mean, throw it on, like he's not Mahomes in that type of play style. He's more of a Brady, Brady's like that, where he's like nasty in the pocket, bro. Like he'll step up here.
Brady's a rhythmic quarterback.
And what's the tie-in between Brady and Drew Brees? They both went to Tom House. And they fixed their mechanics after Brady's injury. Remember when he tore that ACL or whatever it was? Mm-hmm. He went to just like Brees when he tore his shoulder up. Went to Tom House. Tom House, you know who Tom House is, I'm sure, right? Went to Tom House. He got him right. And that's why Brady didn't have the arm he has now. It's because his mechanics are. And here's the thing. You know what the thing about guys like Brady and Brees, the reason why they could play till they were 40, like Brees, even with a shot shoulder, flawless mechanics.
Yeah,
that's how he could play till 40. If your mechanics are flawless, mechanics will outlast athleticism and arm strength.
Mm-hmm.
That's just nature. Mechanics will outlast both of those.
Exactly.
You seen how bad Cutler was? That's why I said Cutler, because you seen how bad Cutler was when he was here.
Mechanics, he never fixed them, and the arm, he couldn't rely on the arm anymore as he got into his mid-30s.
Because it died.
And you know what?
Started dying on
and another reason that's why I'm like, bro, I want to use that 29th pick on a receiver. I was saying just yesterday, X and X, because Tua would make guys miss. Occasionally, he would navigate the trash pocket. And then he'll look down the field and nobody's open. So it's like, like when people look at Burrow would navigate it not as well as Tua, but he would have a guy open. So it would be like, okay, well, you feel me? So it's like, well, I don't need to, you know what I mean? Like, it's different, bro. It's just different than I navigate all of this trash and there's still not a guy open. So now I got to hold it for extra half a second.
There was no navigation for Tua last year, man. The man couldn't get more than 2 seconds. Forget it. Right now, just get that O-line. But in the draft, I was looking at your top 10 wide receiver board, Reason, and I've been in love with this guy, Christian Watson, since I saw him last at the beginning of the offseason. This kid is elite. Like, I think this guy is the best.
Got all the tools.
He's got everything. He's got everything you could possibly want.
He just needs to be polished.
He's just raw as hell.
He's the most talented wide receiver by far in the entire draft. He's one of the purest athletes in the draft. I think a guy like Mike sees him, sees all of it.
Do you boys think he's going to be there at 29?
Yeah, I think he'll be there.
I think he's going to be a top 4. I think he's going to go before Jameson Williams.
I don't think so.
Wow.
I don't think so.
Jameson would have been, if he stayed healthy, he would have been vying for number 1.
Well,
yeah, I agree.
The reason he won't be there, or he will be there, is because of all the off-field stuff.
Who?
Watson.
No, that's Pickens.
Pickens. My bad.
No, Pickens. Yeah.
No, the fact that you said Watson though, because he just spurred. Did you guys talk about Watson going? Deshaun, I'm sorry. He's going to he's going to Atlanta. If they can offer something competitive, bro. I'm from the Atlanta area, so I just had to say it. Fam, he's going to Atlanta.
I believe it, bro. What are they going to do with Matt Ryan's contract?
I don't know, but I just know you got to.
Oh, he's going to Indianapolis.
No,
if that's the case,
no, they got rejected. The Indianapolis wasn't even allowed to.
No, Matt Ryan.
No. Matt Ryan.
Oh, he has a no trade clause. Yeah, he's a no trade clause.
Right, but I'm sure they can work around. I'm sure they can work around that because he'll love Indianapolis.
Right? Gainesville.
That's a good call, Artie.
Gainesville is in the area of. It's not Atlanta.
Because they got the space, they got the cap space, right? Like Indiana can make it right. They can make it, and it's the best.
Actually, I like that one.
And they can add the picks,
the AFC, not the NFC. I like.
And they can add the picks because they need Arsenal, right, to actually get Deshaun, so they can make it all Right, they can make it all happen, right? So
actually, I didn't think about that.
Bro, do you? And this is why I know he'll veto if they come up with something. If Houston says, "Yo, they've given enough to where we feel comfortable making the trade,"
what pick do they have, Dustin?
Oh man, I don't know.
I can look.
I don't know.
It should be high.
Were we backstage or were we live when I suggested Atlanta yesterday?
I can't
We were
remember.
backstage.
Remember though,
Because I've been on the last 2 days, so I
They have
can't
eighth.
remember if it was backstage.
Bro, I didn't. I just threw it, dude. I'll be honest with you, Dustin. I don't know whether we were live or backstage, but I just threw shit at the wall. That's literally what I did when I suggested it, bro.
Atlanta
I literally.
has the 8th pick.
Oh, so they got a good pick to offer too.
The 8th, you said? You said the 8th?
8th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Them,
What else?
them and Carolina make a ton of sense.
Do they
if
have
you
their
think
next
about
picks for the next few years, or are they?
I
Do they
have,
own their picks?
no, they have their picks.
Where's the best place to look for
Oh, well,
that?
they
information?
own their picks and they're willing to part with them.
Atlanta has picks, and Indianapolis has picks. Like this is what's all being held up.
Ian, we've already told RD had a good point. He said, what happens to Matt Ryan? He said he goes to Indianapolis and waives it because they have a good offensive line. They have Jonathan Taylor. They have weapons. They're just a quarterback away. And he goes from the NFC to the AFC, so it makes sense for Atlanta.
Yeah, because their team offensively is.
RG made a fan. That's a good call.
Yeah,
is it true that he reached out, that Deshaun reached out to the Falcons?
I don't know, but
no, it's the Falcons owner that is crazy about him. Like he wants him. So it's one of those things that if they like each other, a deal can be made and it can be a 3-way, but it's going to hold up the entire free agency for the tackle room until there's some sort of resolution, right?
If they can offer something, because here's the thing, Vic was such a you got to understand how old Deshaun is. So he grew up watching Vic.
This is the better version of Vic, bro. This is the passing version of Vic they could get.
You understand? And then you got to remember, Vic had his legal situation, and Atlanta did not care. I mean, they were forced to, but the city, like the love for, because I'm here in Atlanta, so this like the love for they hate Matt Ryan. They hate Matt Ryan.
Do
bro,
they?
What?
Even after the MVP,
they can't stand him.
Yeah,
bro.
but that was so long ago, though.
They wanted
so
Justin
years
Fields.
ago, right?
They
So
wanted
Atlanta
Justin
has their
Fields because
next-
Justin's from here too.
Dude, Justin made so much sense. I can't
Justin's
believe
from
it.
here.
That's why I was like, there's no way they're taking Kyle Pitts.
So and they don't like the fact that he can't move anymore. He's a, you know what I mean? And then the league's
not
going
mobile.
like that's exactly.
Atlanta has their next first 4.
Oh yeah, so they got it.
Yeah.
So he knows
guys,
that
on
the fan
draft
base
night,
will embrace him.
Remember,
that's what it is.
Right now, you can trade 3 years worth of draft picks. Right on draft night, you can trade 4 years. You can trade the year on once that clock starts. That year, doesn't matter anymore. Now you can trade the next 3 years as well. So on
Panthers
draft
also
night,
have their next 4 first-round
on
picks.
draft night, you can trade 4 over the next 4 years.
So Atlanta and Carolina.
Yeah, Vic had a rocket arm, but Vic was not he did not have he had arm strength, but he didn't have the arm talent Deshaun Watson had, bro. Deshaun Watson has a more talented arm than him. That's why, listen, everyone knows I support Tua, but why do you think from day one I said if the trade makes sense and they're not gouging you, and it's a fair trade for us, you make the move for Deshaun Watson. Why do you think I said that? Because, dude, the guy's a top 5, top 3 guy in the NFL. Listen, people out here probably think I'm telling y'all to get over it because he's not coming here because it's just me supporting Tua or whatever. No, I'm telling you to get over it because Watson doesn't want to come here anymore. And if you guys now you've seen all the teams he's been taking meetings with. Now, do you believe me that Watson? It was never about what I wanted. It was never about what anyone out of us wanted. It wasn't about the Dolphins wanted. It was always about what he wanted.
Oh, Reason, I have a question.
Exactly.
What do you think about Billy Turner from the Packers? Is he good?
I don't know. You actually asked that?
I have no idea.
Yo, bro. We drafted him, bro.
Bro, he played for us.
We drafted him.
Yeah,
that was when I was not able
we had
to
him. We
understand
drafted
the game enough.
We drafted him as a tackle. We put him at guard. He
I have no
sucked
idea.
at both positions.
Hey, Destin's the one that laughed, not me. I'm just saying.
I know. I thought he was joking.
He's a young cat, bro.
Oh,
yeah,
bro.
but he should have seen when we got Billy Turner. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I'm 23.
It was 2016.
Oh, okay. Well, there.
Yeah,
So
that
I wasn't old enough to
Destin
understand
got
the
you
game
beat
enough.
because he's 23, bro. Shit.
So, Reason, look at Christian
But no, he's
Christian
not good.
Watson.
I'm just
Look
fucking
at
with you
Christian
guys.
Watson and then look at Cooper Kupp. That's who I think this guy can be as elite as it gets, right?
Isn't Watson bigger?
Yeah,
No,
he's not.
he's like
I wouldn't
he's
compare him to
bigger,
Cooper Kupp.
faster. He's just a more elite specimen. But when you look,
He's a beast, bro.
When you look at his play and the way he plays, it's such pro style.
Bro, like I said, you got to remember with my big board, I said from 1 to 5, give me any one of those guys at 29, and Watson was 5. From 6 to 11, give me any one of those guys at 50. That's how much I like this class. Like literally 1 to 11 on my big board. I'm fine with taking 5 of those guys at 29 or 6 of those guys at 50. That tells you how much I like this class.
Watson reminds me of Martavius Bryant when I watch him.
Oh shit!
You remember Martavius? I mean,
yeah, I do.
Like the size and all the speed. Yeah, Martavius.
He's just a beast. This man is on another level.
I think Garrett Wilson is special too, bro. Like, bro,
his routes, ooh,
bro. He's a beast, bro.
No, but no one is sleeping on Garrett Wilson, right? Like he's gonna be top guy. I'm talking about this guy came on.
Watson after the Senior Bowl is no longer slept on, bro. I've seen mocks,
right. That's what I'm saying. Like
mocks of him in the top 15 , bro.
Right now, he's going to go in the first round. Like he's going to go in the first round.
Watson's no. I think he was the second guy up. Most of the mocks I see, Drake London is going to be the first guy.
Yeah, I was about to say. I thought Drake London only had the best, probably the only guy who would go.
No, but with London, after the pro day with London, he's gonna fall in the first round because his 40 is not going to be that good. So that's his only.
I don't think he'll run. Will he run at his 40?
That's what I was going to ask.
If he's any kind of injured, his agent's going to shut that down. And if he does run, like, I don't know, man. I just see. I don't think he's going to let what Kyron happen to him. But I
was about to say.
But no one's expecting blazing. Drake London's not known for his top end speed. If anyone is expecting a 4.4, you didn't watch Drake London.
No,
but there's no reason.
He comes over 4.6, like 4.6.
Will he have a pro day?
No, when he comes.
It's just like David Bell. Like, I wasn't surprised by David Bell's 40 because that wasn't his game. Like, it's not his game, right?
He's
But if you look at Drake London, like, I would be more interested in the 10 and 20 yard splits with Drake London than I actually would be in the 40. Because I look at his short area burst and explosiveness is pretty good. That's where he's good at. It's the long speed he doesn't have, right? The top end speed. Yep. But bro, you see that guy, man? You see that all 22 highlight I had of him when he jumped over the defender and he ran it into the end zone, bro? He just like straight leapt over him. Like
he's a better version of Pittman, and Pittman is pretty good, right? Like one of the best.
Bro, how do you think, bro? You look at dude. The thing is, he's top end speed isn't great, but he's a freak athletically in like every other area on film.
Yeah, he's so good with the boxing out. I knew he had to play.
His hands are incredible. His hands are incredible. Bro.
Yeah, who do you think got the best hands? I think we talked about it, but I don't know if you gave a number like who would be your top hands in the draft.
Drake London obviously has crazy hands.
There's a couple guys, bro.
Yeah, there is a couple guys. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, Garrett Wilson hands blew me away a little bit. I'm going to pull up my scouting report so I don't have to sound like an idiot and guess. So yeah, Drake London. Okay, Treylon Burks obviously had some of the surest hands that I saw. Watson's dominant at the catch point with pretty good hands. Yeah, I actually in my scouting report I actually had Garrett Wilson probably the best hands of the class.
Okay, all right. I would go
Garrett London and Treylon Burks would probably be the top 3 hands of the class for me.
I would go David Bell would be up there.
He'd be 4 for me.
Pickens got some nice hands, bro.
He would be 5 for me, bro. I love Pickens, bro. If he didn't have the red flags, bro, that guy would be in my top 5.
Okay. Over who? Over Watson?
That's what I don't know. I
don't know. Okay.
Pickens is special, bro. Because thing is, what I not only do the scouting report of my personal opinion, but it's also what we need, and we need an X. And every time I look at Pickens, I'm like, bro, you are like the ideal X for your athleticism, your size, like your frame. You're kind of what we'd want as an X. That like
Keep in mind, Pickens had absolutely no quarterback his entire college career.
and he was dominant.
Zero.
At times.
Right, zero. Right, like that plays a big factor in getting in the discovery.
Like if he didn't punch his teammate in the face and punch an opposing player in the face during a
but
game,
I think Pickens
probably
will
be higher on my.
I think he'll fall in the third round though.
I don't think he's going. He's not going. I don't.
Yeah.
Think, definitely not going day one.
But you know what? I think the ACL hurt him more than the off the field stuff.
Well, yeah, it's a combination of everything, right? Like,
because
but
he's like an aggressive
well.
guy. He just like his play style and all. Like he has.
You don't think the combine kind of like quieted concerns?
Yeah, definitely did. I didn't expect him to run that type of speed. Like I thought
now he's
over...
been rising because
but
he
you know
was
what people are going to say.
afterthought.
Let me see it in game though, right?
Yeah, but you know, but here's the thing. I seen him separate. I didn't think he would run. I didn't think he was separating with that type of speed. I thought it was more, of I don't know what I thought. I just didn't think it was that. I didn't think it was 4.4s. Like
Rome Gray says Pickens is AJ Green light, but he's a knucklehead.
Okay. I mean, I can, yeah. He does have that type of AJ, yeah.
Reason.
Similar.
Look at Preston Williams. Well, look at the Miami Dolphins post on Preston Williams signing. Look at that smile on IG on Instagram,
dude. If he can stay healthy, he would be a good X option too in this.
Yeah, huge.
I don't think Devontae Parker is gonna be with the team. I think it's
this season. This is it. This is his last year.
Yeah, that's.
No, right. I mean this year. I think they're moving off of him.
Smile.
Oh, I don't think they're moving off of him because of his cap hit. He only makes like $5 or $6 million this year.
So it's $8 million that he makes. The cap hit is at 5 point something, I think. But if he gets traded, I think it's a different cap hit. I don't know.
John, I still think Kyron goes day 2.
For real?
I still think he might go at the end of day 2. He might go day 3, but his film is incredible. That's the thing. Like you watch his film and then you look at the combine, you're like, like I obviously dropped him, right? I had him at 2 and I dropped him down to 6. I've never, ever, ever moved up or down a player because of their combine. Bell was 6 the whole time for me when I finalized my thing and I didn't touch him. Kyron I dropped because that's how concerning when I see the fact, and this is why he, I still think he can go day 2 at the end of it, but he's probably going to go day 3 because of the fact of the reason why I dropped him is you can take all the tape you want and you can trust your evaluation all you want, but there has to be a certain time you listen to the data and the analytics. And when you look at the data of his athletic profile, no one has ever been overly successful at the NFL level with his athletic profile. And that's why I dropped him from 2 to 6. And the reason he didn't drop further was because of how good his film was. I originally was battling with dropping him to 9.
He should have said something about
one thing I've noticed.
His agent should have said no.
Exactly, or just saying, "Yo, he strained something." But
dude, you're telling me they didn't run a 40 prior to going out there? He had to have known.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, bro, there's no reason why, because come on.
Like you watch him on tape, and he looks like he's 4.5. Like I was expecting like 4.55.
Yeah, exactly. Not that was. What was it? What was officially a 4.7? What?
No, it went down to like a 4.66 or something like that. It was originally an unofficial 4.72, and then it went down to a 4.66.
Reason when you look at this draft, I don't think there's enough. Like I've never seen the league be this rich in running backs in the past. Like there's always been like 5-6 teams that desperately need a running back, so that, they're gonna bulk up in the first 2 rounds. I can't think of more than a handful of teams that desperately need a running back.
I know.
Like, especially in the first round, right? Like everybody seems to have a running back except for us. There's
going to be someone that takes Breece Hall in the first. Mark my words.
Outside of the Bills, I don't see a team
right now
to get a running back. Just look at the order, right?
Let me look at the draft order.
Start cut.
But maybe the Giants, because of the plethora of picks that they have, or the Jets. But even the Jets, they have so many holes still.
I start Wilson. I start Wilson. I cut. Ooh, who do I cut?
Yeah, that's a hard one, eh?
Because Pickens and Bell have similar games, but I would say Pickens is
Philly
more
could-
athletic, way more
Ari-
No,
athletic.
they have-
But
Arizona brought back James Conner, but they could go for someone like Dave Bell.
David Bell,
Buffalo,
he
yeah.
can impress me with his route running.
Because it
Or
is
not
a
David
rich.
Bell. I'm Brees Hall. What am I talking about?
Yeah, but it is a rich. Like there is like 6 running backs
Yeah.
that right, and people are looking for their second running back. So like people
Yeah.
will start using their their second round pick, but even still, depending on the hole that they have, I just find that the Miami Dolphins right now, their priorities have to be all offense because they brought back the entire defense, right?
Bro,
So
you know
it's
how
like,
hard this question is? Like, I've been sitting here trying to figure this out.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
too. I'm like, damn.
Start, bench, cut, Pickens, Bell, Wilson. And by Wilson, I believe he means Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, that's why I assume too. Garrett was
yeah, you cut
start.
you cut
I'm stuck
Bell,
on
you
who I
bench
cut
Pickens,
because
and you start Wilson. That's
I
it.
don't think it's that easy.
Yeah. I'm starting Wilson, I'm benching Bell, and I'm cutting Pickens.
Man, I wish Pickett and Pickens end up on the
Oh,
same
man.
team.
I actually kind of want Pickens, though. See, that's where I'm at right
Because
now.
Pickens has a more dynamic.
That's what I'm
He's gonna be
saying.
more dynamic, but I think I'll know where I am.
Remember
with
Metcalf
Bell.
went in the second round and he was an absolute beast, right? Pickens is a beast. It's just there isn't enough tape on him. But if you land in the right team, it's like, how the hell did this guy drop in the third round, right? So it always goes down to landing in the right team. Doesn't matter where you get drafted. You can be drafted top 3. If it's a shitty team, you're gonna be.
Well, I thought Pickens would
Hidden.
go back. I thought he would go back to school, to be honest, because he came back into this year when late.
Well, he's a
bro,
4-year
like-
starter, right? Like he's been
No,
there 4
no,
years.
no.
3
No,
years?
He's a true junior. He's a true junior. So
That's weird.
he could afford to go back because he tore his ACL. He tore his ACL and he came back this year late. He came, I think right before the playoffs, I believe he came back, or like the first playoff game, or was it the SEC championship game? I can't remember, but it was super late in the season.
No, he came back this season, yeah. So.
All right, guys. Let's go through some final thoughts. Pyro, go ahead, buddy. You're up.
Oh man, just that I'm glad that we're not, overspending with some of these guys here. But I agree with pretty much everybody that right now our focus should be Tua's blind side and an experienced veteran at center, so the whole line can be, complete. And Tua can see the pressure coming on the left side. So I think Austin Jackson, I really don't want to roll with him another year, but sometimes you just gotta, make sacrifices with one of these positions, but definitely not with the right side. But fins up, let's get
it. John, your final thoughts, buddy.
Yeah, some good signing today, or some good signings today with the Williams and Elandon Roberts and Duke Riley. Just go get Treader and get one of these tackles, and I'm fine until the draft. Fins up.
Destin, your final thoughts.
Yeah, I just want to let Dolphins community know, relax. Some people are just blowing the gasket because they haven't gone out and played Madden and GM mode and signed and just blew their whole load, overpaying people like Jacksonville. We're good, man. Just let it play out, and we'll see what happens.
RD, your final thoughts, buddy.
Yeah, people just gotta relax with every guy that we're citing now. Somehow it relates to Tua. I don't know how. Just let's build the team step by step, fix our holes, get through the draft, and I'm pretty sure with this coaching staff, the team is gonna look a heck of a lot more talented and is gonna function a heck of a lot more better next year. Once we have a really good off season with the new talent that we get, man. Fins up.
Anthony, if you're there, buddy.
Final thoughts. I like a couple of the moves they made with Wilson and Edmonds. Shocked by a couple moves like Roberts and Williams. I really love the Teddy Bridgewater and Connor Williams move, but just overall, until we add a little bit more help on the offensive line, I can't just be like super thrilled. But I hope they add offensive line. That way you can protect Tua, get a better offense, and it just gives you so much more flexibility in the draft.
Kings 0305. Go ahead, buddy.
Smart move so far by the Dolphins. Just need a tackle. I trust them in the draft. As words of Mike McDaniel, check your pulse if you're not fired up. And fins up.
Sure. Wayne, what's going on, buddy? I guess you're just in time for final thoughts. We haven't heard yours over free agency, so floor is yours, bud.
Oh, what's happening, everybody? Hope everybody good, man. Fins up. Final thoughts on everything. Like Pyro said, we got to get that right side taken care of. ASAP. It is a must. It is a need. It is something that everybody know will solidify that O-line is getting that right tackle. So I'm with everybody. When it comes to the draft, I personally want a running back because we've been dodging that for the last 10 years. But I understand that we go wide receiver and line because it's essential needs. So, that's all I got to say. I'm glad everybody's back. I'm glad to be back. Fins up. Let's get it. Coach McCoaching about to take this team where we need to be at. I honestly feel that. So, fins up. Let's get it.
And kudos to the homie Pyro. That's the first time someone ever reiterated his point. So shout out to you. It took you a couple of years, but you finally
fucks with you, Pyro.
made a good enough point.
I'm just saying, man. If I got to make sacrifice on one of the line, on one of the positions on the offensive line, I'll pick the left tackle because right now, man, I'm not playing with no Jesse Davis on that right side. Oh man, I'm tired of that.
You got to go. You got to go.
He got to go, man.
For sure.
He got to go.
Guys, tomorrow's my wife's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
It's also the beginning of free agency.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to finagle this one, but I will somehow, some way be live tomorrow at some point. You can count on me. You can count on me, even though it's the wife's birthday. I will sneak out.
You don't got to get in trouble for us.
Bring the wife home, man.
I'm sorry?
Bring the wife home. Gotta be turned up.
No.
The reason you think tomorrow, what time? At 12? It starts at 12 or 4?
It starts at 4 p.m.
4 p.m. You think at 4
when
p.m.
she gets home from work, even better, right?
Right
on cue.
Do it and risk it for us.
No way he gonna do.
You think the moves are happening right off the bat with all the stalling that's happening with the
there might
tackles?
be stuff earlier in the day. The thing is, I was told that the indication is why these meetings are getting fired off is that the Watson move is going to happen tomorrow by the start of the new league year.
Ooh, that'll be
and
fun.
if that thing drops at the start of the new league year, the dominoes with Taron Armstead and everyone will fall.
Yep.
So we gotta hope it's Carolina or Atlanta if you want Taron Armstead. So I mean at that tag, like I said, give me JC Treader and Lyle Collins and let's see what's good.
But why can't we just get Collins today?
I think maybe they think because of those. Maybe there's red flags we all don't know about.
Yeah,
and that they think they're going to be able to get multiple teams think they'll be able to get him cheaper because obviously we're not the only ones here.
Yeah.
Because I know Denver and the Bengals have been sniffing around that market real hard. And why are they cool with not trading for him? What's going on? Clearly, these guys know something we don't know. We're not privy to.
And why is he getting cut, right? And why is he getting cut too?
Yeah, and why is he getting cut too? So let's I guess, hey man, time will tell, right? And
bring them on.
Hopefully we got answers. Florida Born says tell her before she blows her lid to wish for a blindside before she blows her birthday candle to wish for a blindside tackle. And I said have a happy birthday. I will do Florida Born. That's hilarious.
None of these teams have Jesse Davis, man, waiting for them. So it's like
you should have been gone last week.
I'm gonna get out of here. I will see y'all tomorrow.
Okay, guys. Fins up.
Fins up all day, every day. Stay happy, healthy, safe, and blessed. And Guys, 4 p.m. tomorrow, free agency begins. So see y'all tomorrow. And I'm sure there will be news throughout the day. And if big news breaks, either tonight or through the day tomorrow, I will be live. All right.
All right,
See y'all
guys.
tomorrow, guys.
Bring us
Thanks,
that tackle,
take care,
bitch.